Hello everyone and welcome to Blog Runner Everything and welcome back to the channel. And this is just going to be a quick moment that we're going to take here, just paying tribute to Jordi Alba. So I already did something similar like this video for Sergio Busquets. Pretty sure if you haven't already seen it, you can you can click on that link over there. That's going to come up as a suggestion. It's pretty much going to be just like that, guys. We're going to take a moment just to show some appreciation for Jordi Alba, because of course he did make it official that he's leaving, and we had all the farewells after that last match at Camp Nou and all the farewells that were going on with Busquets as well and with the stadium. I thought that I owed it probably at least to put out a just a video as well talking about Jordi Alba, because like I said, I did the same for Sergio Busquets, and keeping in mind that we're looking at someone who during his career at FC Barcelona has a rather remarkable record, especially when it comes in that trophy winning category, because he's one of very few Barcelona players who can talk about having averaged one trophy every 25 games that they played for FC Barcelona. And this is somebody who played a lot of games for FC Barcelona, okay? So it's not like he was the dude who was just coming off the bench and he was, he'd play every now. This was our full-time starter. He was playing at least 90% of the minutes for most of his career here at Barcelona until just this last season that he has had with us. He has always been a starter as long as he has been at FC Barcelona. And, that's a remarkable thing. It's a remarkable record that he has. Have La Liga trophies, soon to be 6 maybe. A Champions League as well, Club World Cup, Super Cup, all these Copa del Reys, all those trophies and whatnot. And I just think that unlike somebody like Marcelo, for example, who he got all his flowers while he was still playing, Jordi Alba is one person who I would say hasn't. And in particular because he's been underrated in as far as how good he's been at what he does, because of just how consistent he's been in as far as his level goes. And I'm not just talking about his creative output, but also just his physical intensity on the pitch. It's only really this season that, maybe I would say last season as well, when you could really say that there's really a visible drop-off in some of his physicality, right? He's not as fast as he was. Definitely his acceleration isn't what it used to be, but he still gets up and down, up and down, up and down. And, he's still there scoring late goals for Barca. I was talking just in the match review for the Osasuna game about how there's just that Jordi Alba goal that he's been scoring now, that golazo waiting at the back post, getting the ball on the volley and smashing it into the back of the net. But, before that became his thing was, brilliantly timed runs in behind the opposition defense with a cutback that was always going to end up at the feet of somebody who was making a late run into the box. Now, more often than not, that was Lionel Messi. You could see that just in that Santiago Bernabeu Clasico where Messi scored that late winner for Barca. You can also see it in another El Clasico at Camp Nou when Barca smashed Real Madrid for 5, and Coutinho scored from just a similar kind of cutback. Even when Messi wasn't there, he would still be able to find that cutback to the person making that late run in behind opposition defenders. And it's just a shame, really, that his career, especially, like I said, the past 4 years, his career has been a bit blighted by some of the moments like he had at Anfield and like he had against Bayern as well, in Lisbon. Of course, Lisbon was just a terrible night for just about everybody who was on that pitch wearing a Barcelona jersey. But there were those moments that he had, moments when he folded, to be quite honest, when he shouldn't have. And that kind of led to, I think for me, a bit of a toxic relationship that I had with Jordi Alba, because his quality and just, what he is able to do for you in the final third, it's always been there. It's always been plain to see. I mean, just look at his goal in the Euro final for 2012, right? He's always been that guy. He's always had that in him. Just knowing that it's there, you can't help but like a player who plays like that. Trust me, okay? If you have a player like that on your team, you love to watch them play. But then at the same time, there were these moments where you just switch off and make a boneheaded decision. Now, like I said, that's between, I would say, maybe 2018 to 2021. That's really when he had that period where he was just making these boneheaded decisions in moments that were vital, that would cost Barcelona, and that would lead to the whole team just, getting demoralized, because it was like the whole lot of them would be like, oh crap, here it goes again. It's happening once again. It's a shame to say that, some of those moments, Jordi Alba was at the root of them. And like I've said, because of that, it's probably led to him not getting the kind of credit that somebody like Marcelo got. Because I think that he's right up there with Marcelo. However good you felt Marcelo was at his peak, Jordi Alba is right up there next to him. Of course, Alba didn't have the flashy skills, the flair that Marcelo had. I mean, very few people have it. Even modern day wingers don't have as much flair as Marcelo had. But Jordi Alba was just as effective without using the same tools that Marcelo was using. His tools were mainly his acceleration, his well-timed runs, and of course, that well-weighted cutback. Just generally, his final ball was honestly right up there with anybody else in the game. And he didn't get probably as many assists as, say, maybe a Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold got in a single season. But I'm willing to bet that by the end of their careers, their stats are not going to be too far away from each other. So it's worth mentioning as well, and worth talking about the fact that Jordi Alba as well could be leaving. And if he does leave, ultimately what we want to remember him for, the good that he did in our colors, and the fact that he was, in his prime, an unstoppable force down that left wing that brought us so much joy. Probably another reason why I think that Jordi Alba should be given a bit more respect, especially from FC Barcelona fans. A lot more respect, in fact, I should say, especially from FC Barcelona fans, is just looking at how he's conducted himself during this last season, okay? Obviously, he came into this, he still wanted to be a starter, right? But it became pretty obvious after the performances that we saw from Balde in preseason and at the start of the season that he wasn't going to get much minutes, especially with Marcos Alonso coming into the team as well. But during all of that, losing his place to Alejandro Balde and also to Marcos Alonso as well, we never once heard about Jordi Alba making a fuss, throwing all his toys out the pram, throwing a big tantrum about wanting to get more minutes. And I think that says quite a lot about him as a person, and also how much of a professional that he truly is, and how much he actually loves FC Barcelona, how much he cares about the club. We have not even yet spoken about the fact that this man has given up 60% of the money Barcelona owed him. Okay, this is money that was due to him. He's given up 60% of it just to, just as a goodbye favor for FC Barcelona. So getting those Alba wages off the books, he was going to be on quite a lot this season. Something like 30 million he was going to be getting this season, and 60% of that he's just straight up giving it up. And I think that's remarkable, and that's worth just saying, thank you, Jordi Alba, and just showing some appreciation for him. I hope that just with this video and all the stuff that I've talked about, how his previous performances where he wasn't so good may have had people paint him in a bad light, or may lead to people not appreciating him as much as we probably should. And, I just hope all of that is just going to come together as something which, for me, is going to show that this was a player who, for FC Barcelona, he was special in his own right. And him moving on now and moving on the way that he has, he deserves all the thanks, all the applause, all the plaudits that come with the way he's conducted himself, not just during his time here, but also as he is leaving. For that, we say thank you again, Jordi Alba, and all the best in your future. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically that. If I didn't already say it, this is me saying, hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and do as well share with other people in the Barcelona community, wherever you're from, and let me know your thoughts as well on Jordi Alba and his career at Barcelona, and how you feel about, the way that he has conducted himself in leaving and how he was during his stay at Barca. So thank you once again. Have a great day, and Forza Barca.